Happy Bell Let's Talk Day, y'all. So I'm going live just to hang out here for a little bit. Anyone who wants to come on and join and have a quick chat. So today is Bell Let's Talk Day here in Canada. And it's a day about advocacy. It's a day about, oh, there we go. Let's see. Sean, you gonna wait a minute? Let's let him join. You're in the car.
How's it going? Yeah,
What are you doing? Where are you?
I'm in the parking garage at work.
There you are, man. Did you run? Did you sprint outside as soon as we went live just to hop on?
No. I anticipated it. I left my desk about 10 minutes ago.
That's awesome,
I
man.
had a positioning for the phone. Turns out
That's great. So, you're not Canadian. So, today is Bell Let's Talk Day here in Canada, and it's a day of advocacy. It's a day of talking openly about mental health. And speaking about the stories and the things that really connect us, right? So this is a really important day. I'm going to be hanging out here for a little bit, and just holding space and chatting with people who come up. I know we got Jason in here too, so we'd love to have him join in. So anyone, I think we have space for one more person to join us. Addison just hopped on, so he could join and hang out for a little bit. As well. Hi, Sarah. Nice to see you. How you doing today, man? What's going on?
pretty good. It's just a work day. It's pretty boring, but I'll take boring.
Yeah. Do you want to quickly check in with me? Do you want to just take a couple deep breaths and do a quick check in with me?
Sure.
All right. So we'll start with a couple deep breaths. So I'm just going to close my eyes here and kind of get settled. I actually haven't checked in with myself today, and I've been speeding around, so my head's kind of going a bit of a mile a minute. Take a few deep breaths in. In through the nose. Yeah, so I'm just going to check in. Matt, checking in. Mentally, I'm feeling clear. Physically, I feel tight. I have pain in my back. And emotionally, I feel open today. So I'm here with that.
All right.
Your turn, man.
Sean checking in. Physically, I feel a little stiff. Mentally, I feel a little overwhelmed, and emotionally, I feel optimistic.
That's awesome, man. We got a bunch of people joining us. We got Elex, who interviewed Addison on Fox News LA. He's in here. Vern's in here. I know him and I are going to have a chat in a couple days, which is awesome. I'm really I'm just enjoying being part of this, getting to have these conversations with you guys. And you were obviously in the New York Times, and you just blew up all over the map. And it's kind of cool to be able to have these conversations with each other, and actually to be able to share our stories with each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Curious, what's just your general experience been like? You've been with us since the Facebook group days.
Yeah. I wasn't used to talking at all, so it went from quiet and awkward to, I'll openly talk. Sometimes I have to fight myself and keep myself honest, but but I never talked about this stuff before, so it just makes a world of difference to have that group to be able to talk about this stuff too. So, it's been great.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool too, how things have evolved as well, where it's just it feels all of these guys who probably never would have spoken to each other in their entire lives, and it's so fun. It's so cool for me to see a guy like Gary talking with a guy like Jamie, and they're 50, 40 years apart in age.
Yep.
What I mean? It's so cool and so weird and so amazing. It's so many different things.
Yeah, and everybody comes from different areas and has different perspectives, and it really does. I mean, it's a really diverse group, and it's really been incredible. So, yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm really, it's really cool that you hopped on and requested to join. I want to say to anyone that's joining us live right now, let's see who we got here. Uh, drop a message in the chat. Actually, I'd like to get a couple guys up here as well, just to check in, see how they're doing today. So if you want, just throw like a hands up in the chat, and we'll get you on. I think we can fit one more person on. I think we can have 3 people on at a time right now. So if you're down and you feel like doing something spontaneous, having a little bit of fun, raise your hand. Oh, Alex, perfect. Jump on, man. Can you request to join? Oh, we got 2 more. All right, Sean. I'm
Nice.
gonna have to make you go. We got another couple people who want to join in. Thank you for popping on with me, brother.
Thanks for having me.
All right, Alex, your turn. Time to request to join. And we got Jason too. Perfect. Let's quickly grab Alex up here, and then we got Mark joining us. I might be on here all day.
Hi there. How you doing?
Hey, Alex, how are you, man?
Doing well. Doing well. Nice to meet you this way.
I know, and like I know you've chatted with Addison. So I'm asking everyone that, and we got Jeremy Talks to Strangers on now. Oh man, we got like the whole crew here. This is like really cool. So it's Bell Let's Talk Day here in Canada. I don't know if you know about Bell, but they're a large phone company here, and they've done this huge initiative around opening up, sharing our stories, and stuff like that. So I'd love to hear, like, if you're comfortable, tell us like sort of a little bit about why sharing about your story, or talking to others about what's going on with you, sharing about any struggles you have in your life. Why is that important to you?
Well, I mean, I think we, especially in America, and I think it's all around the world too, we have a mental health crisis right now. I think so many people feel alone, feel isolated, feel disconnected from people. I think people are struggling to process. I think everything that's happened in the last year have made a lot of people sort of question meaning and purpose and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And so the idea of having a community at a time when people feel so isolated, I think can be a life-saving, life-changing thing for everybody.
Mm-hmm. And how have you sort of sought out that support in your life? I mean, you chatted with Addison. I feel like, watching your interview, I could see that you really resonated with having that kind of meaningful connection in your own life. And we really appreciate you featuring us that night.
Sure.
It's been such a wonderful experience. But where has that meaningful connection come in your life, and why have you sought it out?
Well, I mean, I'm fortunate to have a very close relationship with my parents, who I think have been really great, and my friends. I mean, it's been harder, I think, this year because you can't see as many people in person. So even some of the conversations that we'd usually have, I mean, I have sort of had my family as part of my quarantine group, and thankfully my parents aren't in the risk group, and everybody's been healthy, and it's been nice to have that face-to-face contact and be able to hug your family. But I've struggled in that. I think in a normal year I would be going out to lunches or dinners or other things with my friends a lot more, and have that ability to talk in person, which is different than text or other things like that. And it's been hard to not have that, and I've struggled with that.
Yeah. And I think a lot of us are sort of feeling that piece. So in the absence of that, like, what's been kind of working for you? Where have you shifted to make sure that you're getting that soul nourishment from relationships? How have you handled that?
Well, I've tried to sort of change my schedule around a little bit, in that during this time, I've really tried to take at least Sunday off. So I've tried to
Yeah.
take the day and really get away from social media, to get away from the news. I've binge watched a lot of shows, tried to turn the brain off a little bit, try to get some sort of workout in, so that at least one day a week, I'm taking a step away and taking some time to take a deep breath. Because it can be overwhelming, especially in my business, the news business, which is your business is covering the chaos. And especially like as a political reporter who in the Trump era in America, it was like a lot to handle. And so I feel like it's time. It was hard for me at first, but then it became really nice to at least once a week, if not once a day, take some time. I've also like gotten much more focused on trying to work out at least once a day or 6 days a week or so, to at least have a few moments. Because I think what's great about working out is it forces you to be present in something other than your daily grind. But if you're doing it right, like you're so into that, whatever that exercise is, that for a moment you forget about all the stressors. And I found that physically and emotionally that can be really helpful. But I certainly don't have all the answers.
No, we're all like, I mean, we're all doing the best that we can with what we have. And it's interesting because like I've actually, I've intentionally disengaged from news, right? Like when people ask me about like, what are the COVID numbers like in Toronto? I'm like, I don't know. Like for me, I have the option of saying, you know what? I have no control over this. I know I need to stay home. I know I need to be careful. I can't go out for like, we're in like, you can only go out to the grocery store and come home. That's kind of the situation right now. But you don't have that option, right? Like
No.
you have to engage mentally in that world. So like how do you actually actively like say, okay, I'm shutting this part of my life off? Because that it must be hard for it not to just sort of bleed into all aspects of your life.
Yeah, I mean, I think it does, but I think the important thing in doing the coverage though is to remember that, it's not just a number, right? You talk about like the statistics in Toronto. Yes, that's a statistic, but it's also somebody's father and mother and brother and son, and there's stories behind all of that. And people get outraged over a lot of the policies, but sometimes they forget about the humanity behind it. And so I really try in my coverage and in steering the station's coverage as an anchor in whatever way I can to constantly be reminding people, okay, these are people. And then to try to support those people as a community as much as you can as they go through the struggle. Because I think when everything gets politicized, which unfortunately, something like a pandemic became politicized, you sometimes forget about the relatability that we're all just human beings, and wearing a mask doesn't have to be a political statement. It could just be that you don't want to get your mother sick. You know what I mean? And like and then also sharing the stories, because one thing I found in news, and I think the hardest thing there is to do in the news business is trying to figure out, trying to tell the story of somebody who recently died. And some people don't want to talk about their loved ones, but there are also a lot of people that find it to be very therapeutic to be able to tell their loved one's story. And that's part of grieving for them, is to be able to talk about that and honor their loved one and show what a great person they were and let other people know about them. And so I think on those days, it can be a service to be able to let somebody share their story.
Yeah, I love the way that you frame it as service, because it's so easy to get caught up in the us, and to be of service, I think is the most important thing a lot of us can be doing right now. So thank you so much for joining us. I would love, if you're willing, to do one small thing, I want to get a couple other people on. I know a few guys on here raised their hands. We got Mark Goulston on here. Want to get him on. Want to get Jason Henderson on as well. But if you could do me a small favor and just like take one deep breath with your eyes closed, and then give me one word for how you're feeling mentally, emotionally, and physically.
So those are each separate things?
Yep.
Or
one word for mental, one word for emotional, and one word for physical.
Okay. I think mental would be tired.
Yep.
Mental, what was it? Emotional?
Emotional, yep.
Emotional would be, I think, recovering. And physical, let's say, stronger.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And thank you for
Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought I was just doing one word, and I just ended up getting a whole interview. So thank you.
I know. Well, I mean, this is the way that it goes. Thank you so
Yeah,
much for joining us,
appreciate
Alex.
it.
We
Appreciate the
appreciate
good
it.
work that you're doing. It's really important stuff, and thank you for what you do.
And thank you for your service as well in sharing people's stories. You know, we're all just. I know you and I both. We're just trying to make this world a slightly better place than we found it.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
All the best, man. We're gonna get another individual up here. Thank you, Alex, for joining us. Let's see if Mark wants to join right now. I know he's hanging out right now. So let's see if we can get Mark Goulston, Dr. Mark Goulston, on the line with us right now. So we're gonna wait for and there he is. I thought I could get him on. I didn't know if I was gonna get him on, and now I got him on.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly.
Yeah, I'm going to have to rush because I'm doing, I got back-to-back interviews. I got a live radio show in about 8 minutes. Something I wanted to share that I hope will be helpful. I've developed a program with a veterans group that has about 30,000 members on Facebook. And what we've created is something called a Hurt Locker. There was a movie, Hurt Locker, won the Academy Award. Yeah. But I think it could be useful to people on this call. And the idea is when you're with your families or your friends, you basically say to each other, what was the worst thing that happened today? What was the most upsetting thing? And they tell you what happened. And then we have an acronym, which is HADA, H-A-D-A. And you can say, did it hurt you, anger you, disappoint you, or make you afraid? So something upsetting happened. Did it hurt you, anger you, disappoint you, make you afraid? And we do it in that order because a lot of, especially men, run away from hurt into anger. Anger or shut down because they just feel too exposed. And so as what you're doing as you're drawing out these feelings, let's say they say angry. And then you say, how angry? And they'll tell you. And then you say, what did it make you want to do? So what you want to do is turn the impulse, which is usually destructive, into using your words. That's what they taught us in kindergarten, but we didn't listen to them, especially men. Mm-hmm. Well, maybe you want to do such and such. And then you can say, well, what did you do? Well, I didn't do that because it would have screwed up my life. And then you ask the other person, if that happens again, what would be a better thing to do? And what you really want to teach them, and I think this would be great for Tether, is, geez, talking about it. I'm a man. I didn't think talking about it could do anything. Wow, yeah, I feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
And so we're calling it the Hurt Locker. And but we'll probably take it elsewhere because, as you know, Matt, I create stuff. My head can't stop it, and I'm happy to just share it if it'll help people. But I just wanted to share that because I got to go get ready for this talk radio call. I'm going to be on an hour speaking about homelessness with someone.
That's amazing. And we're going to be on Clubhouse later, and we're going to be chatting men's mental health a little bit later. Appreciate you joining us. I know you got to go. Can you give us one word for how you're feeling mentally, emotionally, and physically before you sign off?
Grateful. I'll tell you something I learned about myself really quickly. Mm-hmm. And this is why I haven't made a lot of money in the world, is I'm not here to help you become smarter and more successful. There's a lot of people doing that. I'm here to help you become wiser and figure out what's really important to you and then make sure that you're living your life that way. The problem is nobody buys wisdom. I mean, it's nice. And so I mentor people. I'm honored to be a kind of a mentor to you and Addison. And but I think the more that we can be drawn to what's important to me, you might discover what's more meaningful and purposeful in your life. But there's so much cross-selling, and I understand that we all have to make a living. Mm-hmm. But I just wanted to share that with you because I love you and Addison, and I look forward to helping you not just be smarter but wiser. Mm-hmm. Because the world needs you both.
Well, I love you as well, Mark. And we just posted that video of you and me and you practicing your trademark technique of surgical empathy on me. I didn't even know that it was going up, and then I looked at the feed and I was like, oh my God, it's in the public now. What do I do? It's out there. And you say at the end of it, you know, it's like, I bet you didn't expect that to happen, and then I didn't expect it to go live. So it's out there now. You and I practicing surgical empathy.
Oh, there you go. Also, people go to my Instagram site. My last mentor died on Friday, Larry King. I had breakfast with him for 2 years, and I learned a lot from him. So I was shocked, not surprised, because he'd been sick. And then on Saturday, I started to feel sad. And then Sunday, I just did an Instagram video. You can find it on at Mark Goulston. And I just said, you know, you're not my contacts, you're my friends. And I talked about. I was real fortunate because I was hypnotizing Larry and to help him get his appetite back. And I had a sense that the last thing, it would be the last time I would see him. And he's a gruff Brooklynite. And as I was leaving the room, I said, I love you, Larry. And he looked at me and he said, I love you, Morose. Because his nickname for me was Morose, because at breakfast, everybody's bantering about sports and politics, and I'm listening, and my listening, he looked at me, he said, what are you thinking about? I said, I always think. He said, you're Dr. Morose. And I said, I could leave. You know, I don't want to bring the group down. He said, no, we need Dr. Morose because, you know, we get ahead of ourselves sometimes and we talk about stuff that's all just banter. And I did a podcast with him, 2 podcasts. And the last podcast I did with him, you know, we talked about it being a rough year. And then, how's this for a plug if you want to book me for a conference? He says, you got a conference, everybody's having a good time, everybody's happy, they're liking it, and you need someone to really depress them and bring them down. Yeah. You need to bring in Dr. Morose. He can bring a group of people down. He's amazing at that. And I said, Larry, thank you for the plug. Anyway, I got to go run to this other show. So much love to all of you, and everybody stay safe.
And we'll see you tonight on Clubhouse.
Absolutely. Take care. Bye-bye.
See you, Mark.
So long.
That was Dr. Mark Goulston, and we all love him. Let's get Jason Henderson up here, the Boulder man right now. So let's see if he's hanging out. We got time for one more, and I know Jason put up his hand a little bit earlier. So let's see if he accepts my invite to go live, and he does.
Matt.
There we go.
Can you hear me?
How are you, sir?
I am good. How are you?
I'm very good, and I'm really enjoying this. Just like, but you know, back and forth, couple quick things. So first, before you go, before we start, I should say, before you go, before you go, get ready right away. Let's take a quick deep breath in, and and you got the tether gear on. Wait. Before you do that, perfect. That's what I love. I know you got ready for me. Just a quick deep breath in, and I'd love for you to check in with one word, mentally, emotionally, and physically.
Mentally, I feel excited. Physically, I feel tired. And emotionally, I feel supported.
Thank you for being here, man. So, you know, I know we actually want to do some stuff with you. We've got an article. We want to collaborate. You're building the Boulder Man. We've got 5 minutes because we're doing this for 30 minutes. But I want you to talk about, like, you know, why are you building I know why you're building the Boulder Man, right? And I know that you want to help guys that have come from similar situations or who may be going through similar situations that you did. So tell us a little bit about like what that is and like what are you passionate about helping men do?
The Boulder Man is my passion. It's rooted in support for men, and it came from a place where there was a lot of pain and a lot of hurt. It came from divorce. It came from separation, and in that, I learned a lot about myself. And I experienced the value of support from other men to help me grow through it. And that's basically what we want to do. that's what we're doing. That's how we're coaching men to go deep within themselves, to learn more about themselves, so that they can stand in the integrity of what it means for them to have a fulfilling and a loving life.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we do.
And so for you, through your own process of like going deep into, like, you know, I know that, you know, there's hurt, there's pain, there's so much that a person goes through. I've never been through that, but I can imagine that there's so much a person goes through in that situation. A lot of men like to run away from that. We don't want to actually feel those things. So like, what's that journey of like feeling everything, going through it, and doing the work? What's that process been like for you?
Discomfort and pain are teachers. That's the way I see it. It teaches us that there is something wrong, that there is something missing, that there is something that is needed in our life. And if you can see it as a teacher, then you can go there. You can go there more easily because you know that there's something that is going to show you.
Mm-hmm.
And so when the discomfort comes in for me, it shows me that there's something that I need to go and learn. It shows me that there is a lack of love in my life on that specific area. Something that I can build towards, something that can learn me about myself, and something from which I can heal.
Mm-hmm. And how, what's it like guiding men through that process, right? Because I imagine you come up against like a ton of resistance when you're trying to get guys to like actually drop in with that and be like, and you're like, no, trust me, this is going to be totally fine. This is going to hurt, but it's going to be totally fine.
It's about creating that safe container
Mm-hmm.
for men in order to do it, much like what tethr is doing as well. You're creating a safe container where people can actually speak about the things that's in their hearts, in their minds, the things that's keeping them back, the things that they wouldn't necessarily share with other people.
Mm-hmm.
So you create that safe container, and once they feel that it's safe and there's trust, and you can meet them with empathy, then it's much easier for men to start speaking up about what's really going on for them deep inside. Mm-hmm. And once you see that, then you can support them through that.
That's beautiful. So I want to give you time for a quick plug right now. So where can people find you? Obviously, the Boulder Man on Instagram, but where can people find you? And you know, give us your most shameless plug. That's what I really want from you right now.
You can find us definitely on Instagram at the Boulder Man, theboulderman.ca, because we're in Canada as well, but we operate in the US and Australia and everywhere else as well. So theboulderman.ca and the Boulder Man on Instagram.
Thank you so much, man. I'm glad. This has like been. I wish we could do like another 30 minutes of this, but this has been perfect.
Absolutely.
A nice, quick 30 minutes. Bell Let's Talk Day. We're all sharing our stories. This has been great, dude. Thank you. You're going to be my final, I guess, guest. I don't know, final person joining me for this quick live. So really glad that you're here today, man. And I love you, man.
I'm really honored, Matt. Thank you very much.
All the best, dude. Thank you so much for joining us. We are going to shut this off now. It is 3 o'clock. We've had Elex Michaelson, Dr.Mark Goulston, Sean Kushigan, and Jason Henderson join us all in the last 30 minutes for Bell Let's Talk Day. This was a quick hit. Thank you so much if you came, if you dropped in. You know, share your story, share openly with the people around you, and make sure that if you need help, get the help that you need. Reach out, and tethr, obviously, for all the male identifying individuals out there. We're here for you, and just know that struggling doesn't make you any less of a man. It just makes you human. So come join us. Be a part of the conversation. Happy Bell Let's Talk Day. See you guys.